All right, so as I said, we're starting standing up, and our Pilates posture means feet parallel, and they can be together, hip distance apart. Your abdominals are zipped up, and your tailbone is long. Your shoulders roll up, back, and down, and your ribs are pulled down the whole time. So just a couple of quick reminders. Sometimes I forget, since some of you are very experienced, just some reminders that this is about core stability, right? So our hips can be tucked under in a pelvic tilt. That's very protective of the low back. We don't want those hips in extension unless we are on purpose on our abdominals doing an extension. Most of the time though, if you can remain in a neutral spine, so you have a slight curve in your low back, then that's a little bit stronger. So abs drawn in, ribs pulled down, shoulders roll up, back, and down. Shift your weight onto your front leg, whichever one's facing the camera. Back leg extends, and all you're going to do to start with is bend and straighten your standing leg. A little sit into it and reach with the toes. And reach and reach. So you're sitting down into that front leg, feeling the glute and the quad working here, tapping those other toes. Good. And last one, come up. Okay, adding on, we're gonna go to the side, completely to the side, step to the side, but don't put any weight on that leg, okay? So come up, tap, and up, and tap, and up, tap, and up. Good. Always, again, bending into the quad and the glute, no weight on your back leg. Sitting into it, and remember when you sit into it, you're not trying to hinge and bow at the waist. You're trying to sit in the hip. Last two, and last one. Now I want you to split the front and the side and go halfway between those. So 1:30 or 11:30, 10:30 on a clock. Sit down and reach. Sit down and reach. And sit and reach. And reach. And reach. That standing leg, bending and straightening, it should be getting all the work here. Make sure you're bending and straightening, not just going this, right? We're not tap dancing. Beautiful, bring that up. And now we're gonna go to the back. So standing leg is the one that bends and straightens. Back leg, do me a favor and tighten up that quad so the leg's straightened. So you don't want it bent, you want the back leg straight. Front leg, bend it, reach, and stand up. And you can really sit into this one. You might be able to go a little deeper because you will be hinging slightly forward on this one. That's just our body's way of counterbalancing. Reach back, no weight on those toes when you're reaching back. Straighten the leg when you get to the back. Beautiful. And now you're going to split the difference between the side and the back. So 4:30 on a clock, reach back. Now I'm hoping that your standing leg is starting to feel this. Mine is shaking and aching. Ouch. Good. Last one, and stand it up. You'd think we'd be done with that leg, but you know we get one more direction, and that's the curtsy. So now that back leg crosses behind the front leg, reaches, straightens, and come up. And again, when you're reaching, you're not putting weight on those toes. So you reach and come up, and reach and come up. Sitting into that quad and that glute. Nice job. Keep that going, please. Chest is up. Just sit down into it. Nice. Last two. Last one. And stand up. Okay. Hopefully, your standing leg is rather sore already, or at least felt that. So now switching legs. I'm just switching sides. So you're going to take that front leg, the one that's towards the camera. You're going to bend it as you slide your toes forward and come up. You just tap them and come up. Standing leg bends and straightens. Again, it's a sit down and a stand up rather than a bend forward. Good. And reach and up, reach and up, and reach and reach. Good. Again, be really nice about not putting weight on those toes that are reaching. Last two, last one, stand up. Leg goes to the side and up, and bend and up, bend and up. Reach to the side, so straight out, 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock on your clock. Good, last one. We're gonna split the difference between front and side. So we go up and out to that corner and reach, up and reach, sitting into it, quad and glute working, and reach, and reach. And stand up. And now we go to the back. And again, this is where you get that chance to set A, straighten that back leg, and B, perhaps reach a little deeper. You're still hinging into it, but you will also, again, counterbalance a little bit more with your upper body. Two more. All right, and now we split the difference between back and side, and we go to that back corner, whether that's 4:30 or whatever 30 on your clock. You guys know what you're doing. No weight on that back leg, but stretch it. Reach through those toes and reach and stand. Nice. And stand up. And finally, we get our curtsy direction. So that leg comes behind as you sit down into it. No weight on those toes, unless you, like I did, lost your balance. Good. And reach. And reach. Keep it going. Sitting into it and reaching and up. And reach and up. And keep that going. Couple more here, please. And relax. Stand it up, shake it out. Come on down onto your mats, please. We're actually going to start with a couple nice little stretches, some of which will hopefully stretch those quads and hip flexors out a little bit. So let's bring those feet wider than your mat, or at least a few feet apart. Arms out to the side. Drop your left knee in and let your right knee drop open to the right. You should feel a nice stretch along the front of your left thigh and your hip flexor into your left low back. If you wanted a little more, take your right hand and push the leg towards the ground for a deeper stretch. And then inhale back through center. Drop your right knee in, left leg drops open. And again, feeling that stretch even along the IT band of your right leg. If you want more, take your left hand and press that leg down towards the ground. And then back through center, arms in a T position. And we're just going to do that with the legs back and forth. Pause every time you drop a knee. Take a breath, inhaling, and then exhale to move again. So just nice and easy, limbering up that area with nice, slow, gentle movements. Sort of a dynamic stretch here. Good. And now we're going to change it up one more time. Deeper stretch. Put your left foot on the ground. Cross your right knee totally over. So close the gap. And then let both knees drop to your left. And that should intensify that stretch on the outside, or the right low back, the right hip, and down that right IT band. Take your right arm and reach as far as you can away from you. Now leave the legs crossed. Use your left elbow to push everything back through center. And then drop the knees over to the right and reach through your left arm. Try and drop your left shoulder to the ground. And now that stretch intensifies on the left low back, left hip, and IT band. You could even use your right leg to push down on the left leg and see how much that ignites an extra stretch. Use that right arm, press back through center, uncross your legs, square them up. Left leg over your right, and we're starting with the legs dropping to the right. Left arm reaches, and just let that passive stretch occur. Left low back, left hip, left outer thigh. And then use that right elbow. Actually, press down if you want with your right hand, and then use that right elbow, push back through center, legs come back through center, stay crossed, and over to your left. Right arm reaches. And then use that left elbow, or excuse me, push down with your left leg first. Feel that intensifying stretch. And then use that left elbow, come back to center. And finally, we're just gonna hug one knee in each hand and finally just take a nice little rock side to side. And then we're gonna put the soles of our feet together, reach through, hug those legs and press them open. And then we're not gonna start with a full rolling this morning, but we're gonna bring our forehead up and we're gonna pull our legs closer to us. We're gonna pull our belly button in and we're gonna do the tiniest little step bug movement here. Again, just a little spinal warm up. You can start to get a little bit of realization that this can work your abs by going a little bit higher, but smaller, safer. It's probably okay for most of you if you have some osteoporosis. Small movement here. Last 4, last 2, and last 1. Now go ahead and put those feet on the ground and knees together, ankles together, toes together, hands by your side, not under your hips. Deep breath in. Let's articulate by tucking the hips under. This is that pelvic tilt. Lifting your tailbone and then your sacrum and then your low back and your mid back until your ribs are on the ground. And then articulate right back down again, one vertebra at a time, rolling into that pelvic tilt and then into a tip the opposite direction so the low back lifts. And then we're gonna exhale to tuck and roll. Inhale at the top and exhale, roll back down again. So that's the nice bridge. Now I want you to find a neutral spine. So abs are drawn in, slight gap under your low back, hands out to the side, big toes together, and now we just lift straight up. And that's our regular bridge. Squeeze those glutes and give me a 1/4 inch higher lift. And then bring that left knee into your chest, extend it up in the air, point the toes, and lift those hips not only higher, but nice and even. So if that left hip dropped down, lift it even with your right. Let's bring our fingers to the sky and lower that left leg till it touches the right and lift it. So we're gonna exhale, lower, and inhale, lift. I like to point on the way down and flex on the way up. Some people flex on the way down, point on the way up. Some people point the whole time and flex the whole time. You do what you want, but I want you to be aware, is that right hip or is the left hip, are either of them starting to droop? No saggy, droopy hips. Again, mantra for life. Ribs nice and even. Good. Left leg up into your chest. Bring it down next to the right one. Big toes square up, ankles square up, heels square up, and we gently come down. Big deep breath in, hands back down. Exhale, lift the hips right up. Square your hips, fingers to the sky. Right knee into your chest, extend it up in the air, and then check your hips for alignment. Lower and then lift. And again, pointing and flexing or choosing one or the other. You know me, I'm so easy peasy, do whatever you want. Right. Some of you are chuckling right now, I know. Squeezing those glutes. Squaring up those hips. Last 2. Last 1. Leg up into your chest. Feet together, and now hips come down. And once again, we're hugging those knees into our chest for just a second. Feet down on the ground. Here we go. Deep breath in. Exhale, float that neck and shoulders off the ground. Fingertips reach to your knees. Big deep breath in as you reach your arms over your head. Stretch through one arm, stretch through the other. How long can you make your arms without rolling down? Stay lifted. And then exhale, we're going to sweep the arms and come down. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, sweep, reach, reach, reach. And exhale down. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach and stretch, and exhale down. Keep that going. Ab prep exercise. Exhaling to lift and inhaling as you reach with those arms overhead. Good. A few more here. The next time you're up, I want you to stay up and stack your legs in tabletop. That means knees right over your hips, shins basically parallel. Now extend the legs at the same time you reach your arms overhead, but you are not rolling down. You're going to bend those knees, tap your shins. Can you pull yourself up an extra inch right here? Inhale, reach. Exhale, an extra inch. Now I'm using my legs initially, but maybe eventually you lift yourself that extra inch without holding onto your legs. Totally up to you. Last one, I want you to hold it. Take your right arm a little lower to the ground. Take your left arm a little lower to the ground. Lift your collarbone a quarter of an inch. Reach your right leg straighter. It doesn't have to be lower, just straighter. Reach your left leg straighter. Reach farther with both toes, longer. Reach more with both arms. Arms are up over your head. Arms are up over your head. Abs drawn in, ribs flat. You stay, 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 stay. I'm watching you. Eventually, maybe you should start shaking a little bit. Challenge yourself, arms a little farther, legs a little longer. 4, 3, 2, hug those knees in. You should feel like you need to hug those knees in. Both hands over to your right knee. Extend that left leg up in the air and then reach it no more than 45. While you're there, grab your right ankle, deep breath in. Exhale, lift that right ankle up. Now, your right knee is in towards your chest for a stretchy version of single leg stretch. That's okay. We're just doing that on purpose. Deep breath in. On the exhale, switch your legs, on the inhale. Bring that left knee, grab your left ankle with your left hand, reach through your right toes. Inhale, right hand grabs your right ankle, left hand to the left knee, point those toes. Inhale, switch it up. Right toes reach on the exhale. Left knee in, grabbing that left ankle with your left hand, and here we go with the breath. Inhale to switch, exhale to reach. Inhale to switch, and exhale to reach. Inhale, switch, and exhale, reach. Last 2. And hug those knees in, roll down. All right, stack those legs tabletop again for me. Pull that belly button down, flatten those abs, get that low back close to the ground. It can be in a pelvic tilt or it can be in neutral, fingers to the sky. Shoulders pressed down, deep breath in. Exhale, curl those belly buttons in towards that spine. And we go for our toe touch. So your legs move away from your body, opening up that angle on your hips. I want you to stay at the bottom. Stay, stay, stay. Fingers hover above the mat. Hold, or toes hover, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lift back up. Stop those legs when they're right over your hips. Inhale, move those legs away from your body. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, pull the belly button in to lift them right back up again. Inhale as they move away. Hold, 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 hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lift. Pivot your knees open. Inhale, lower those legs away from you. Hold, hold, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lift up. So your feet are together in this little froggy position. Inhale as those knees move away. Hold at the bottom. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lift up. Challenge yourself, extend those legs. If that's too much on your low back, then go back to that shorter lever. Legs are apart, lower them down, bring them to center, bring them up. Lower them together, open into that V, lift them up. Bring them down, bring them together, lift up. Bring them open, down, together, and up. Switch it. Together they go down. They come in a V, open and down, and then together, up, out, down, together. I'm just making this up, aren't I? I'm out of rhythm. Together they go down, open into a V, bring them up. So any variation of whatever variation it appeared that I was maybe doing. Do you find the rhythm that works for you best? And again, if that feels like that pulls too much on your low back, then instead you're going to go ahead and just go back to the bent knee position. Nice variations. All right, enough of those. It appears. Legs into your chest. Hug them, rock them side to side. All right, so both legs up in the air again. Arms out into a T position. We're going to do our corkscrew here. So flatten your ribs. I'm going to start by bringing those legs to the left, but keep your right hip bone down. So just be aware of it lifted up. For now, leave it down. Draw me a little circle. Finish over to the right and come to the bottom of your circle. So we start the circle reverse, inhaling, and then we finish the circle exhaling. And it almost feels like a little massage for your sacrum. Reversing the direction every time. If you want more challenge, what you're going to do is let the opposite hip come up. So you're creating a big old circle now. Inhaling to start your circle, exhaling to finish your circle. Now keep going. I'm going to do one more add-on that makes it really much more like the corkscrew, but you're not going to do this if you have high blood pressure, detached retina, thyroid disease, osteoporosis, vertigo, or pregnancy. If you have none of those and you want to try, then your legs go to one side, but then they come up over your head, down and around, and that's what makes that corkscrew motion. You do not need to add that on. Try to keep your head on the ground the whole time in that nodded yes position. And then giving one more in each direction of whichever version you're doing, and then you'll take that break again, knees into your chest. We're going to put those feet back down on the ground, and we are headed back into another bridge here. This time, I want you to walk your feet back so they're even closer to your booty. Come up, and then walk back so you're up on your tippy toes. So you're going to pull those ankles underneath your knees, hands by your sides, and then let's float them up in the air. Shoulders out of your ears. So you're up on your calves are working, you're up on your toes. Lower your heels and make sure you're going to be able to do that, and then lift them. And lower and lift, and lower and lift. Just a little calf raise. Not really going to stop at this, you probably know that. Last two, and last one. Left leg straight up in the air, rather than out here, let's point it to the ceiling. Roll a little higher on those right toes, lower your right heel, lower your hips, lift your hips, lift your right heel, and then let's put that together. Everything down, everything up. Everything down, everything up. As you do this, try and keep as much symmetry as possible. Notice what that left leg is doing and that left hip. Can you make sure that both hips touch down at the same time? 2 more. Good. Left knee in, place it beside the right one, bring everything down. Deep breath in, exhale, lift it up, come up on your tippy toes. Try 2 lifts of those calves. And as you're ready, extend that right leg. And again, straight up in the air, use that left glute, lower the left heel, lower both hips, and then both hips up and the heel up. And then we do that all together. And right knee in, place it down, hips come down. And once again, we're gonna hug one knee at a time into each arm and begin to stretch out those hamstrings a little bit. Don't worry, we'll have one more bridge in a few minutes. Extend those legs long. Point those toes for me, pull your abs flat. Reach your arms up overhead for a long spine stretch here. You'll notice your low back has lifted up, so we're gonna leave that for a moment. But then I want you to bring your hands right above you and touch your ribs. And on the exhale, pull your ribs flat. So your ribs came down, but you may still have a little space under your low back. Hopefully you have a little space under your low back, but ribs are flat. And then those fingers are pointed to the sky, and we're gonna exhale, float the head, neck, and shoulders a couple inches off the ground to that point where it feels like you might wanna get some momentum to get higher, but I want you to stop there and check those ribs, and then I want you to reach those arms over your head, but stay lifted. So it's kind of like the ab prep we did at the beginning of class, only our legs are extended right now. And we're gonna exhale, come down, and inhale, reach the arms over your head. Maybe your ribs pop, maybe you can keep them down. Come up, arms above you, exhale, lift. Inhale, reach the arms over your head for extra challenge. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, arms over your head. Try to keep your ribs down this time. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach the arms over your head. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, lift. Don't throw your arms up in the air though. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come down. Now, if you have osteoporosis, low back issues, you want to stay with that, stay with that. Otherwise, bend your knees. Arms up overhead on the inhale. The count will be the exact same breathing and count. Exhale, roll up only, maybe you're gonna roll all the way up. You're gonna inhale at the top, and you're gonna exhale to roll back down again. The breathing is the same. You inhale at the bottom. Maybe you're only coming part of the way up, pausing to inhale and reach, exhaling, coming down, inhaling, reaching. Maybe you're coming all the way up, exhaling to roll up a vertebra at a time, inhaling to lift tall, exhaling to roll down a vertebra at a time, inhaling to reach, and exhaling to roll up. So modifications or not, totally up to you. If you're doing the full roll up, at this point, if you wanted to go back to straight legs, you can see if that's okay with you, or does that pull too much on your low back? You figure that out, and then we exhale to come down. If you were looking to protect your low back, please keep those knees bent. Stay safe so you can come back on Tuesday. All right, we're gonna do one more, whichever version you're doing, and we're all gonna end up lying down. And when you finish that last one, hug your knees into your chest and turn to face me. Or let's do just so that we're all on the same leg. How about left leg in front, right leg off to the side? So you're sitting mermaid here. It's kind of easy to curl over to this side. So lift up that left glute so you can sit taller. So rather than being collapsed, do your best to be here. Beautiful. Left arm in front, right arm off to the side. Can you push that right knee back so it's not in front of your hip, but beside or behind it? This is a little bit challenging if you have hip issues. Flex through that right foot and lift that right leg off the ground. Now you're gonna tip a little bit to the left, but try not to curl. So stay reaching and lifting. Reach to me, Stella. That back leg is flexed, and now we lift that leg. Lift that leg. Can you lift it by leading with the knee? So it's not just a lift, but it's also a pivot open. And keep reaching long through the front arm, long through the back arm. You should feel these, I hope. Open it up and open. Good. And lift. And lift. Last two. Lift, but we're staying up. Lift that leg, stay up. Imagine somebody very annoying is behind you. It's not me. Push back. Push back. And press. And press. And press. And press. And press. And sit up. Take that right leg. We're going to do a gentle stretch here. So bring it in front, but not crossed over. Put your right hand on your right hip and press it down to open the knee. But then use your opposite arm to pull that leg across. So I'm pushing down with one hand and pulling across with the other to try to get a really nice stretch along the outside of that hip. All right, let's switch that up. So left leg in front, right leg behind. And again, we're gonna lift up and pull those glutes out from under us so we're not rounded. Right arm in front, left arm to the side. Push that left leg back, flex through that heel and lift up, but then reach tall, tall, tall. And then again, we're gonna open and close that knee, doing our best to not just lift it, but to pivot open a little bit. Pivot open and lift and lift. Keep going and lift and lift. Did you find one side is easier than the other? Imagine you did. We are quite, not quite, but most of us are a little asymmetrical in our hips, and this is one of the exercises that illustrates that. Last two, last one, stay lifted, push back, press back, use that heel, push and push and push, and relax. Sit up tall, bring that left leg just slightly in front of you, push your left hip down with your left hand and pull it across with your right hand. Again, getting that elongated stretch across the hip and the outer thigh. Very nice. Okay, let's come over onto either elbow and cross our legs at the ankles so that the top leg is in front and both knees are bent a little bit. We want to protect this shoulder, so we push back. We lift up out of it. We use our lats, and we create a lot of space between the ear and shoulder. We're coming up into our side bend exercise. So use your front foot at first to push on the ground to lift your hips. Leave your front foot where it is. Straighten your legs without moving your front foot. Bend your knees. Open your knees. Don't touch your hip to the ground. Press to lift. And bend to come down. Open. Good. So as you come up, you're not moving your feet. You're keeping your feet where they are. That means you just have to lift your hip higher and then open your knees as you come down. For more challenge, roll onto the inside of your top leg. So you're on your arch rather than the sole of your foot. Last two and last one, come down on that same side. Okay. From there, we're going to come up into just a regular old side plank. Old side plank. And then stack your feet if you can. You know versions of side planks if you're not sure. Option one is to always be on your knees, all 10 toes up in the air. For a little more balance, you can make a wide crisscross with the top leg in front, or small one, or stacked. As I said, you guys have been up there for a few minutes. Here's your challenge. Open your chest, pivot to look at your top arm, open to the back of the room, come back to center. Open to the back of the room, come back to center. That should feel quite challenging. So pivot and then come open. So it's your arm that's opening towards the back of the room, right? Pivot open. Good, keep that going. So you're in that side plank position. Just a couple more here. Open to the back, hold it to the back. Lift your chest, lift your chest, lift your chest towards the ceiling, stay, stay, stay. Open that arm farther, farther, and come down because I've been outvoted. Okay, other side. Elbow right underneath you. Protect that shoulder by pushing back, lifting up out of it, and pulling those lats. Lots of space between the ear and shoulder. Top leg in front of the bottom one. Bend that knee. Use your front leg, foot flat on the ground. Lift your hips, and then straighten the legs without moving the feet in or out. Separate and come up. Again, side bend. For more challenge, you turn onto the arch of that front leg. Beautiful. Gently come down. All right. Again, coming up into our side plank. And again, you can be crisscross small, wide stagger. You might be stacked. You might be on the sides of your thighs, both knees bent. Come on up into it if you're not there already. Holding it for now. And then you're going to pivot that top arm open. You're going to follow it with your eyes. You're going to pause, and then you're going to come just back to center. So you pivot open, you pause, come to center. Pivot open and pause and come to center. If you find this challenging, you have found it. Good. A couple more here. And relax. All right, we are going over onto our abdominals, please. Let your forehead rest on your arms. Big toes together. Give me heels clicking together and then opening, and clicking together and opening. Heels together and open, together and open. Last one, heels together. Arms by your sides, deep breath in. Exhale, lift your hands, squeeze your shoulder blades together, bring your forehead off the ground, symmetry though, and then pull your belly button in and lift your legs. So this is version 1, exhale, come down, deep breath in, exhale, lift again, version 1, and relax down. Version 2, bring your hands out into a stick-up position and rotate your thumbs to the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your elbows, lift your arms, forehead, toes, hold at the top, inhaling, exhale down, and one more like that. Exhale to lift, inhale to hold, and exhale down. Version 3, arms are out in front of you. Deep breath in, exhale, lift all limbs, inhale, hold, exhale down, deep breath in. Exhale, lift, inhale, hold, exhale down. All right, you're gonna pick one of those versions. We're doing our Superman. So those were Supermans, but we lifted and came down. This time we are staying lifted. So pick your favorite. Are you ready? Get set, go, lift, hold. Round 2. Da 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 Then we usually do call and response. I say it's a bird. I'm pretty sure you say it's a plane. And then I say it's, and you say super person and come down. Hopefully, right? Woo. Let's bend those knees and let those hips shake side to side. Windshield wiper here. And then prop yourself up on your elbows. Bring your big toes to touch again. Roll your shoulders out of your ears. Lift your collarbone, nod your head yes. From there, take your toes, tuck them under, bend your knees, start to lift your booty the tiniest bit, and then hover your knees above the ground with knees bent, right? So knees are bent. Imagine there's one piece of paper underneath those knees. That's option 2. Option 1 is to bend the knees so that your toes go up in the air and hold your forward plank here. Make sure your booty doesn't sit back. You want to be in that nice straight line. And option 3 is to tuck your toes and lift those knees. All right, checkpoints. Everybody up. Let's see what time it is. There we go. Checkpoints. Hands are apart, not a tripod. Big toes are together. Hips are tucked under. Thighs are lifted. Abs are pulled in. Ribs are pulled in. Shoulders are broad. Head is in line with your spine. Let's go through those again. Hands are apart. Feet are together. Thighs are lifted. Tailbone is tucked a little. Abs are pulled in. Ribs are pulled in. Chest is open. Shoulders are broad. Hands are underneath you. Excuse me, hands are apart. Forehead is in line. Your back of your neck is in line with your spine. Couple more seconds here. Well, actually more than a couple, about 15 from when I said that. Almost there now. And relax. And we will rest in our shell stretch. Hips sit back on your heels. Shell stretch looks like a child's pose or a prayer pose from yoga. Hands out front or by your sides. If you have knee issues, you can make a little fist and tuck them behind your knees. Hips sit back on those heels. And then as you're ready, come on up and join me in a seated position again. Well, actually not again, it's our first time here. So we're gonna do a couple of roll downs, and then once again, we're gonna do our shake and shiver me timbers. So fingers out in front of you, shoulders roll up, back and down. Let's take a little bit of an opening with those arms, like a beautiful ballet position. Notice if you've tucked and rounded, sit up out of those hips, grow tall through your spine, and yet pull the ribs in. From there, exhale and hinge back, and then give me that slight pull in of the ribs. I want you to open your arms into a T. Look at your toes. All 10 toes are still on the ground. Knees are equal. They're not off to one side. Exhale, lower your arms a little bit, still that rounded position. Pull your belly button in and come up. Inhale, exhale, hinge back. Open your arms a little more on the inhale. Pull those ribs in, by the way. Put the hands a bit, come up. Inhale. Exhale to hinge back. Pull the ribs in on the inhale. Open your arms. Hold for a moment. Exhale, back up. We have 4 more like that. Exhale, hinge back. Inhale, open the arms. Maybe make sure those ribs are down. Exhale, back up. Inhale. Exhale to hinge, ribs pull in, inhale, arms open, exhale down, last 2, exhale, hinge back, ribs are in, arms are open, inhaling, exhale, and then last time, here comes the fun one, exhale, hinge back, pull those ribs in, open those arms. Can you bring them all the way open? Could you bring them into a V position without rounding? Head is in line with your spine, make sure it's not a head. Well, it is a head, but make sure it's not a head. And then arms up by your ears if you can. If that makes you roll down, then maybe go back to a V. Hold here, ribs are flat, abs are in, holding for 4, 72, 58, holding, 3, 2, and 1. And we're rolling all the way back down. We're hugging those knees into our chest. We have 1 more bridge, and then we stretch. This time, feet are in front of you, okay? So no longer a straight shin right underneath you. The shin is out in front enough that you can roll your toes up and be on the backs of your heels. That should drive your low back into the ground and allow you to just lift right up into that beautiful bridge. It won't be as high, but you're gonna feel this more in your hamstrings. Fingers up. Right leg, extend it straight out. So it should be touching your left knee. Open it, close it. Open it, close it. Open, close. Now when you open it and close it to the right and then center, right and center. When you open and close, notice does your left leg move? Can you make sure it doesn't move at all? Find those muscles that make that left leg stay perfectly quiet. You will find a surprising little squeeze in those hamstrings, especially those medial hamstrings, the ones that are closer to your inner thigh. 4, 2, and 1, heel down, let's just go right to it. Left leg straight out, right leg stays still, left leg is flexed, open, close, find the muscles that don't let your right leg move. For one thing, that left leg goes to a smaller range of motion for most of us. Open, close, Right leg, keep it quiet. And relax. All right, keep that left leg long. Bring that right knee up over to your right shoulder. Right hand goes behind it and left hand to the knee. And it's over towards our right armpit, giving us a little bit of an inner thigh stretch as well as that hamstring stretch. From there, you're going to bring both hands around the back and just straighten out the leg. Let it drop over to the right. Notice your left hip might be coming up, so push it back down. Bring that right leg back through center, bend it in, and cross it over towards your left shoulder. Bring your right arm off to the side. We're back to that outer hip and IT band stretch, and now we're going to let that knee come all the way across in that twist. And then as we come back through center, we bring that knee back through center. Give it a nice hug here. Bring it in so it touches your ribs, and then flex through the right heel. Keep the thigh and the rib attached. So deep hamstring stretch, and then reach for your ankle. Maybe even pull your toes back. Good, and then you're going to start to straighten that leg, but you're probably going to have to come up in the air to do that. And some of you, that is not going to happen, and you're going to move your hands down to your ankle. So you choose holding onto your toes and lifting, or ankles or whatever. And then let's all move our hands a little bit farther down the leg so that we can point the toes to lift ourselves a little higher and flex through the heel and try to lie back down with that foot flexed. Deep stretch. And then point those toes to lift. And one more time, flex to lie down. We're going to bend that right knee, let it drape, or let it cross all the way over the left thigh. So my foot is on the ground, and then I'm going to let it drape open. So I'm in a figure four, but it's going to be a smaller figure four. My right knee is not way off to the side. This is better for that piriformis. And now if I bend that left knee, I'll feel that stretch a little more. Maybe even press the right knee away, lift that left heel in line, or excuse me, that right heel in line. And then finally, I'm going to straighten out both legs and hope that the right leg feels that it's on vacation. Left knee in, up and over to the left. So it's towards my left armpit, my left hand is behind it. Give it a nice hug, and then extend it up and over to the left. Inner thigh stretch as well as hamstring. Push that right hip down if you can. And then bend it in and bring it across towards your right shoulder. And now we get, again, into that left outer hip, left low back, left IT band. And we drop all the way into that twist. Coming back through center, we're going to hug that knee in. We're going to get the rib and the thigh to attach. We're going to lift the toes and press the heel to the sky. And then we're going to see, could we pull our toes back and even get that calf involved? Right leg is long, and then we're going to lift and lift and lift and try and get that left leg straight. Pulling back on those toes might or might not happen. And then we're going to move our hands down a little bit, and then inhale to lift up taller, and then exhale, flex, and pull yourself all the way down, bring your leg with you, deep stretch. Point the toes, lift back up, and exhale to flex, and come back down. And now I'm going to cross that left foot over the right thigh, so the foot line's on the ground, and then pivot open. So now, instead of being a wide thread the needle, I'm going to have a smaller thread the needle. You bring that up, and then I'm going to press that left knee open and bring that left heel in line with that. And then all of that relaxes. Mosey your way over onto your hands and knees for me, please. You can unmute if you want to cat-cow with me. Hands right underneath you. Deep breath in. Exhale, round into your kitty cat stretch. And inhale, open into your calf. And exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. Shoulders out of your ears, back of the neck is long. Pull those ribs in. Let's press up in our down dog position for a moment. Pedal out your heels. And walk those heels down. Bend your knees a lot. Bring your ribs onto your thighs and find me halfway here. Exhale, round cat stretch. Inhale, cow. From there, chest opens, lift yourself up, big deep breath in. Exhale, thank yourselves for a beautiful start to your Saturday morning. Join me, if you don't mind, for a couple minutes. We'll go over a couple more bits of trivia. You can unmute yourselves.